So today we are going to discuss one non-negotiable condition you have to surrender to have revealed the path you are truly supposed to walk upon. Hi guys, this is the Briar podcast, and today I want to make this podcast really practical for you guys. And to be honest, going forward with a lot of my podcasts, I want to make it practical, because otherwise what's the point of trying to learn something that you can't bring into your own life and adapt into your own life? So sometimes I find a lot of people, when they read the Bible and when they, listen to these ideas of God, they're like, oh, it seems kind of like whimsical, sort of abstract, but every idea in the Bible is actually tangible and it's actually designed to be part of our life. And so I want to try and help translate that for you guys. So we're just going to get into this one today. So not long ago, I had a dream, and in this dream, I was sitting in the back seat of the car and somebody else was driving. I couldn't see who it was. We were traveling a distance, and I remember having the sense that this was an important trip, that it was almost like the start of a new beginning. I was very relaxed. I was just like watching the clouds and looking outside as we were driving. I kind of felt like a kid, when you're going on holiday and you're in the back seat and you're sort of going on a long journey. That was kind of the vibe I was getting from this dream. And anyway, 4 weeks later, I found myself packing up my life and shifting cities. And I remember making a conscious note that with this shift, because it was a move of faith that I was doing, that I had to surrender my future plans to God to make sure that I wasn't going to miss what He had in store for me. This heart posture was reflected in the dream that I had 4 weeks prior, where I wasn't in the driver's seat anymore. I had let go of control. And when you're in the back seat, you can't see everything. You don't know everything. You don't know the turns, the timing, the detours. But surrender means accepting that you're not always going to have the answers. Maybe you're someone who's been in the driver's seat too long, trying to steer every outcome, trying to control all aspects of your life. You have been burnt out, you've been tired, you've been angry and frustrated because life convinced you that control equals security, that managing everything yourself is the only way to prosper, believing that self-sufficiency, independence is a virtue that makes you mature. But many times this can be led by pride, not willing to give the reins over, or fear and doubt that no one else is going to be able to truly help you along the way. As much as we like to believe it, we ourselves can't bring us into the divine plan that was set for us on our own. As much as we like to think we know what is best, we were never designed to live this way. And we get so caught up in building these big plans. And when we talk to people, it becomes like our identity. We feel insecure if we don't have these plans mapped out. And when people ask us, and so we build up these plans because we think it's like a sort of a safety net, but really it's just an illusion. What we do at the same time when we do this is we end up exalting ourselves. We end up exalting our plans and we put them on a pedestal, but underneath this becomes vain without us even realizing we're doing it. And many people might say, yeah, but that's just ambition and it's good to have ambition. And yes, inherently ambition isn't bad. But when we put ambition, we put our grand plans above everything else and we put them on a pedestal, it becomes sinful. The motivation behind the ambition also reveals how pure it is. A lot of it is driven by sinful variables like power, to make a name for ourselves, to grow our own empire, believing that we are better than others, which leads to us having an inwards focus of self-promotion. Envy and jealousy that leads us to trying to obtain things just because other people do. Then there's money, recognition, status being the end goal, which therefore makes these things an idol in our life. Comparison and competition, which drives us to once again do things in our lives and obtain things that were never designed for us. So we have this constant discontent. In contrast, godly ambition is motivated from a place of being obedient to God, serving God because you love God. So it starts from a place of humility. of wanting to be useful to other people. The key is whether the ambition helps or hurts your relationship with Christ. If it increases your relationship with Christ, you know what you're doing is good because it's not of the self. It's no longer my thing. It's no longer my way. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's best for us. And until we can release that control, he can start speaking to us, but he doesn't force us. So like if we're like, no, he's not gonna like bash on the door. You know what I mean? He's gonna be like, okay, do your thing then and see what happens. See how happy you are taking that route. And I bet if you look back in your past when you were trying to be the most controlling over your life, over aspects in your life, you were the most miserable. So in James chapter 4, verse 13 to 15, it says, "Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry out business and make money. Why? You don't even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." Because our lives are so short on earth. This verse is just encouraging us, hey, pursue what is truly meaningful instead of these earthly pursuits that are just going to pass away once you part this earth. When we are willing to have our plans disrupted by God, we allow our eyes to be opened, to have more sight to the truth, to a path more righteous and meaningful. Therefore, we become more willing to pivot and change. So what ends up happening is we lead ourselves into a life that ends up being more prosperous anyway. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9, it says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." Now, when I looked up the Hebrew word, the original text for directs, it says to make, firm, establish, set in place, or prepare. And then I looked up the word establish in Hebrew, and it means to build or construct. So then we have to ask, what is the point in having all these grand plans and making all these different decisions where we have everything mapped out for our future when it's God that actually builds and constructs our path for us? Instead, we should learn to partner with Him rather than being run ragged by trying to force our plan into our own life. We can't fully even know what is going to happen in the future. This is why it is good to be dependent upon God daily, because He actually reveals these mysteries to us to help us step forward in life along the way. You have believed that you are protecting yourself by gripping onto the wheel so tightly, but you are only just exhausting your soul. And I know that I'm speaking to somebody saying that. It is okay. It is okay not to know everything. We're not supposed to. It is okay to feel lost and to be vulnerable, to not know what your plan is. God isn't worried about your uncertainty. He actually prefers it over you clinging to your plan so tightly. He wants to redirect you, but first you must loosen your grip. You must release the illusion of control in your life. Because at the moment, you're like a racehorse. You've got your blinders on and you can only see this narrow goal ahead, or this lifestyle, or this thing that you've held on so tightly to. But what if he's over this side and he's trying to awaken you, saying, hello, like I'm trying to pull you in a new direction, and you're blind, you can't see it. You have been blinded by a false sense of security that you have built around your own plans. What if the very thing you're gripping to is keeping you from receiving what He has for you? In Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 to 6, it says, "Trust in the Lord with your whole heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." And the more you submit aspects of your life, all the little hidden ones, all the little things that are just in the mind, might not necessarily be playing out in the world, might not even be in your external reality, but the things that are really deep and within your heart, when you give them to Him, when you release them and say, hey, this is here, like, can you help me with this? He will make your path straight. He will reveal to you what to do. He will help you. So first, seek Him above the goals, above the timelines, above the pressure and the fear. Seek Him first. Seek His kingdom, and all else will be given unto you. Your life will truly start to begin when you are ready to surrender. Let God take the wheel. There is peace in the back seat. Honestly, there's peace. Man, the rest that He gave me, and I was like, do I not need to like make all these decisions or like think all these things and like go round and round and round and round? He's like, no, I never wanted you to think like that. And I'm like, huh? Like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. He's so good. He has your best intentions at heart. He knows what's truly in our hearts, and He wants to help us. Yeah, there's peace in the back seat. Take the back seat, give it to Him, and you will feel weak. I'm going to warn you, you'll feel weak. You'll feel like a little weak, pathetic kitten. You'll feel vulnerable. Feel like you've been exposed. But I'm telling you, if you stick with it, stick with it. He has such joy for you to come into. So may the Lord bless you. May He keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May He turn His face towards you and give you peace. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you on the next one.